Hello, everybody. Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles with my cohort.
I'm a cohort in crime, okay? I'm Jim Hughes. I'm good to be here with Terry Stiles. And coming up on this newscast, again, the DDA moving forward. That's always a good thing. Chief Sowald trades in his badge. That'll be interesting to find out about law enforcement on the move.
All that and more. The Oxford News begins right now. Mike Sowald did trade in his badge, but it was for a judge's scorecard, serving one of 6 judges at the Faith in Action 12th Annual Dancing with the Stars fundraiser last March. Sowald said the event raised thousands of dollars to support independent living for older adults and people with disabilities. He also said it was a great time and the dancers were superb. The fundraiser supports Faith in Action of Oakland County's Mission Possible program, which helps low-income seniors and disabled homeowners with repairs and accessibility improvements, allowing them to safely remain in their homes. Sowald, who previously competed as a dancer, said the judging may be less stressful but still challenging given the high level of talent. Jim?
The Oxford Downtown Development Authority has actually approved a grant to help improve signage at the Northeast Oakland Historical Museum. The board did award up to $1,500 towards the project, which includes 2 new black and gold signs, 1 large exterior wall sign, and a smaller decorative sign. That total project cost is estimated at just over $6,500, including installation and permits and taxes. That'll be interesting, Terry.
Also in downtown Oxford, plans are moving forward to improve accessibility at Centennial Park Gazebo. The DDA board chair Pete Schultz said updated designs now include a back and forth ADA compliant ramp on the south side of the structure. The design will soon be finalized and sent for contractors' bids. The project began in 2024 and is partially tied to federal relief funding. No formal vote was taken at the last meeting. Jim?
In Oxford, the Oxford Township Planning Commission has unanimously approved plans for the new medical facility in the former Rite Aid building. Trinity Health Medical Group will operate a primary care, urgent care center at the site on South Lapeer Road. The 10,500 square foot facility will include 20 exam rooms, 2 lab areas with an extended hours through the week and weekends. Community members voiced support during the public hearing, citing that the need for urgent care services in the area. Officials say the existing building meets zoning requirements and no major exterior changes are even planned.
In education news, the Oakland School Board of Education has approved a proposal to place a regional enhancement millage on the August 4th ballot. If passed, the 1.5 mill tax would generate about $125 million in its first year, benefiting public schools across Oakland County. Kenneth Gutman said the funding would go directly to local districts based on student enrollment, not property values. The measure would cost the average homeowner about $150 per year on a $200,000 home, with funds available starting in late 2026. Jim?
Beyond our area, law enforcement agencies across the multiple states or even into Canada are now teaming up for a major traffic safety initiative. The campaign, called Lake to Lake, focused on safe targets, distracted driving along that 94 corridor, which is always busy from Indiana to Ontario. The effort makes the Distracted Driving Awareness Month, includes increased patrols, enforcement along the 500 miles of the roadway. Always good to be able to participate in that. Terry?
Meanwhile, gas prices in Michigan are ticking up slightly this week, rising to an average of $3.92 per gallon. That's still well below the record highs seen in 2022, though some areas, including Eaton, Jackson, and Ingham counties, are seeing prices as high as $4.13 a gallon. Jim.
A warning tonight from Oakland County Sheriff Mike Richard. Scams are once again impersonating law enforcement officers. Officials say the callers may demand immediate payment through Bitcoin and other methods, claiming they missed a jury duty assignment or unpaid times. Authorities stress law enforcement will never call, never demand payment over the phone. If you receive one of these calls, hang up immediately.
Boy, I'm telling you, that's somebody close to me did that.
Oh, they paid over the phone like that?
$13,000, yeah.
Okay,
So,
wow.
yeah, it was a couple years ago, but it was that kind of a scam.
That's not good at all.
$13,000 to $16,000 they lost, and when they called the police,
13,000?
yes, to 16,000.
Wow.
When they called the police said, "Well, you're really lucky. The lady down the road lost $350 last week."
Well, I tell you, the scammers, they're smarter sometimes than the actual people telling us about the scams.
Yeah.
Two things. Going back to one was, the gas prices and everything.
Yeah.
I heard a young girl asked this young man to, if they could go out, and she says, "Can you take me to a real expensive place?" So he took her to the gas station.
Good joke.
And I was waiting for that. And then also in a segment, I'm going to actually be part of the new segment here too. In a segment we call "What is Terry Reading?" Okay, it's we just came off of Reading Month in March. What do you got going? What are you reading?
It's another book by one of my favorite authors. Her name is Jojo Moyes, and she writes series mysteries.
You enjoying it?
Starting that one. I've got 2 books going actually.
Did
so,
you have
yeah.
the self-improvement one going too, or something like that?
Oh, well, I've got some dementia books going right
Okay.
now too. So I'm learning about dementia.
Not that we want to stray away from reading or anything like that, but I've started watching a series called The Madison, and it's Taylor Sheridan, who was an actor a while back. Now he writes everything. He wrote Yellowstone. He wrote The Tulsa King. And they made TV shows out of it.
Right.
Well, his new installment is on, I think it's on Paramount Plus or whatever. It's called The Madison, and it has Kurt Russell and, again, a lot of neat actors and actresses.
sounds good.
And it's a pretty good thing. It's based off of a book that he wrote. It's called The Madison. If you have a chance, it's some nice, inspiring stuff. So, hey, if you're not consuming enough media from us, maybe you can consume it from them. Coming up, he's here and he's ready to go. He's got his tie on. When he's got his tie on, we know Auto Talk and Science in the News. Terry, at the end of this newscast, will have Behind the Lens. You are watching Oxford News This Week.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Who can you turn to for news you can trust? Your local TV and radio broadcasters. You trust us to keep you safe during times of crisis and to deliver the weather, sports, and entertainment you rely on every day. We bring you the facts you need to make decisions that matter. And as misinformation floods social media, you can trust your local stations to deliver the truth. Text TV to 52886 and tell Congress you rely on your local stations for trusted news.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. And it's for you Corvette aficionados. Chevrolet debuted 2 Corvette Grand Sport trims powered by its next generation V8, which will also become the standard engine on the sports car Stingray base model. By reviving the Grand Sport line for the 2027 model year and offering the new engine, Chevrolet hopes to reinvigorate the higher volume segments in the Corvette lineup, said Scott Bell, Vice President of Global Chevrolet. This will be a big volume opportunity for the brand, he says. Chevy's new LS6 6.7-liter V8 engine delivers 535 horsepower and 520 pound-feet of torque on the Grand Sport and is paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. Other than fasteners used on the previous generation engine, the V8 has all new parts, including a lubrication system and forged pistons and rods, Chevrolet engineers said. It yields a performance boost compared with the outgoing LT2 V8, which generated as much as 495 horsepower and 470 pounds-feet of torque. Production of the 6th generation small block V8 will move from Tonawanda, New York to General Motors Engine Factory in Flint, Michigan. It will be equipped on the Stingray base model for the 2027 model year as part of a refresh, Chevy said. The Grand Sport is engineered for the purist, Chevrolet said in a news release. GM's magnetic ride control comes standard on the Grand Sport, along with the Michelin all-season tires and a new braking package. Packages tuned for sport and track performance will be offered. The electrified all-wheel drive Grand Sport X pairs the new V8 at the rear axle with a compact battery pack and front axle electric motor lifted from the electrified Corvette ZR1X. Combined, the powertrains generate 721 horsepower, according to Chevy. The Grand Sport X effectively replaces the hybrid E-Ray in the Corvette lineup, which no longer will be offered after the 2026 model year. Going forward, Chevrolet says it will use X in its Corvette naming structure to indicate electrified all-wheel drive. The exterior pays homage to previous generations of the Grand Sport, which dates back to a limited run of 5 purpose-built race cars in the 1960s. The Grand Sport and Grand Sport X will be offered with the trim's iconic Admiral Blue metallic color with a white center stripe and red hash marks on the rear quarter panel. A 2027 launch edition of the Grand Sport and Grand Sport X will feature a Santorini blue interior accented with red stitching. The Grand Sport and Grand Sport X will be built alongside the Stingray at GM's Bowling Green, Kentucky assembly plant beginning this summer. Pricing will be announced at a later date, said Chevrolet. Wait for that one. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Who can you turn to for news you can trust? Your local TV and radio broadcasters. You trust us to keep you safe during times of crisis and to deliver the weather, sports, and entertainment you rely on every day. We bring you the facts you need to make decisions that matter. And as misinformation floods social media, you can trust your local stations to deliver the truth. Text TV to 52886 and tell Congress you rely on your local stations for trusted news.
Welcome back to Oxford News this week. Oxford Spring Sports, it's underway. Oxford baseball triumphed over North Branch with a score of 12-2 in baseball, bringing their season record to an impressive 3-0. Go Oxford Wildcat baseball. Another fantastic performance by the Oxford girls soccer team, securing a 4-0 victory over Davison, improving their season record to 1-0-1. Go Wildcats. Despite the close match, Oxford girls lacrosse team put up a score to fight against Howell with a final score 18-16 in overtime. Special shout out to senior player Vivian Bailey in lacrosse for her outstanding 11-goal performance, earning her a spot on the All-MHSAA records list. Other sports, while the Oxford boys lacrosse team faced a tough loss against Romeo, they bounced back without a problem with a thrilling 9-8 victory over Utica Eisenhower. Again, another great victory there. Big congratulations to 2 student athletes of the month, Gavin Lewis and Cheyenne Frank. Remarkable wrestling season culminated with Frank in a 3rd-place finish at the MHSAA Individual Wrestling State Finals, while Cheyenne secured her 2nd consecutive individual state championship. Well done, both athletes, on their outstanding achievements. Both of them, again, we're wrestlers, and we congratulate them on their achievements. Special thank you going out to Mr. Dan Garr of Health Quest for sponsoring the award. Again, always good to recognize our athletes here at Oxford. Once again, that wraps up some spring sports. We'll have more coming up in our next newscast. I urge you to stay tuned on weekends. We have a lot of the sports being broadcast on our many platforms. We'll be back in a moment. Dave Kenny will have a segment, and Terry Stiles and myself will close it out. You are watching Oxford News This Week.
In today's digital world, it's hard to know who to trust. Your local TV and radio stations bring you the facts. Misinformation and deep fakes flood social media, but broadcasters deliver verified and accurate news. For news, emergency updates, sports, and entertainment, turn to your local stations. Text TV to 52886 and urge Congress to support the vital local journalism broadcasters provide.
You know the national parks, but you may not know that they're supported by a strong foundation. A foundation for the future. We are the National Park Foundation. And together with your support, we are building a bold future where national parks are vibrant, protected, and welcoming. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Data centers built to power artificial intelligence, or AIs, produce so much heat they can raise the surface temperature of the land around them by several degrees, creating so-called data center heat islands that may already be affecting up to 340 million people. The number of data centers built around the world is forecast to rise enormously. JLL, a real estate company, estimates that data center capacity will double between 2025 and 2030, with AI expected to account for half that demand. Andrea Marinoni at the University of Cambridge in the UK and his colleagues saw that the amount of energy needed to run a data center had been steadily increasing of late and was likely to explode in coming years, so wanted to quantify the effect. The researchers took satellite measurements of land surface temperatures over the past 20 years and cross-referenced them against the geographical coordinates of more than 8,400 AI data centers. Recognizing that surface temperature could be affected by other factors, the researchers chose to focus their investigation on data centers located away from densely populated areas. They discovered that land surface temperatures increased by an average of 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit in the months after an AI data center started operation. In the most extreme cases, the increase in temperature was 16.4 degrees Fahrenheit. The effect wasn't limited to the immediate surroundings of the data centers. The team found increased temperatures up to 10 kilometers away. 7 kilometers away, there was only a 30% reduction in the intensity, he said. The results we had were quite surprising, says Marinoni. This could become a huge problem. Using population data, the researchers estimate that more than 340 million people live within 10 kilometers of data centers, so live in a place that is warmer than it would be if the data center hadn't been built there at all. Marinoni says that areas including the Bajío, I guess that's the pronunciation, region in Mexico, and the Aragon province in Spain saw a 3.6 degree Fahrenheit temperature increase in the 20 years between 2004 and 2024 that couldn't otherwise be explained. Chris Priest at the University of Bristol in the UK says the results may appear more nuanced than they first appear. It would be worth doing follow-up research to understand to what extent it's the heat generated from computation versus the heat generated from the building itself, he says, suggesting that the building being heated by sunlight might be part of the effect. Either way, the data center is increasing the ground temperature, says Marinoni. The message I would like to convey is to be careful about designing and developing data centers. And we haven't heard about that lately, have we? Well, that's it for this science edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
You know the national parks, but you may not know that they're supported by a strong foundation. A foundation for the future. We are the National Park Foundation. And together with your support, we are building a bold future where national parks are vibrant, protected, and welcoming. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
And in our Behind the Lens segment, it's finally spring, and that means community events are popping up across the region, including local Easter egg hunts. Last weekend, GrabCap had an Easter egg hunt for adults. Eggs were hidden throughout the downtown areas, and fun was had by all. Let's watch a little bit of that.
Hi everybody, I'm Katie Roble here at GrabCap, and today we are hosting our annual adults-only Easter egg hunt. So every year we put on this little event. We hide about 40 eggs out in downtown Oxford. Prizes range from a free Mug Club membership to buy one get one beers for today. So we're really excited to have everybody out and a nice sunny day. All of the eggs are hidden between Oxford 7, the Good Egg, the Arcade, and Magic Brownie. So if you find an egg, you get one per adult, and you have to come over here to redeem your prize. One per egg, or one person per egg, and they're all outside along 24. So it is now 2 o'clock. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Hunter. I'm here at OCTV. We're at the Easter egg hunt today, and we're gonna see if we can find some eggs. Okay, the search is getting intense. Everybody's looking everywhere. We haven't found a single egg because everybody's looking so much. It's so hard to find these eggs.
Hi, I'm Ashley Benando. I have not found any eggs. Still looking. I've incorporated both my husband and my best friend to help us find the eggs, but so far none in sight.
Okay, so, where do you think, like, have you found any spot that you thought might have had, like you really thought?
the eggplant, I think that the eggs would have been in the planters or in the tree branches, like the lower hanging ones, just hanging nicely in those little branch nooks. But sadly, haven't found them there. Maybe someone got there before I did.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that somebody probably like found them all before anybody else. So, have good luck. Try to find some eggs.
Will do.
Hello, my name is John, and I have an egg, but it was actually gifted by a nice person because I found the lug nut. I thought it was the most interesting thing. But you know what? This is an awesome event here in Oxford. Come out and support Oxford businesses and get your egg on.
Say thank you. Thank you everyone for coming out to our Easter egg hunt. We hope you had a great time.
Well, that's it for today. I hope you had a nice time watching, and hopefully you come and try to find some eggs next year. Bye.
Well, wasn't that festive?
It's very cute. Dan is the one that shot that, and he had a great time. He brought his son Hunter.
Oh,
which
Hunter is
is
a character in
from
himself.
I'm telling you, he's not afraid of the mic. He's not
Oh,
afraid
no.
of the camera, and
You know,
he's another OCTV employee.
well, I tell you, I think he's going to go bigger than that. He actually has a bunch of characters, okay, when he comes to the basketball games.
Oh.
And he has backstories on all of them, okay?
He's a smart
And I told Dan, I said, Dan, that's how Disney got started. And Hunter is like, I mean,
He's something else.
you got to have talk about the stories,
Yeah,
okay?
I will.
There's this
We'll
one
get him on
character, and I
the
always
agenda.
forget his name, but that's like the main guy. That's like his Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
That's Hunter's main guy.
Wow,
Okay.
we can say we knew him when, and he worked for OCTV.
I'm gonna apply to work for. I'm gonna work for him actually.
Yeah.
I'll be the old guy wiping the floor down, you know. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. Hey, Terry, anything you want to chat about? I mean, obviously we're going into
I hope everybody
spring.
had a good Easter
Yeah.
and a safe, all that spring break stuff. I hope everybody's home safe and settled down and
Yeah.
back to school.
I do have to go and say thanks to the Oxford Fire Department. They made a few visits to my mom's house in the downtown area, and again, a very emotional time when you depend on those guys. And I tell you, our Oxford Fire Department, there's nothing I can say bad about them. They are just champions.
And professional. I had to use them twice.
Yeah.
3 times I've been in their ambulances, and they're amazingly professional.
Exactly.
And keep their cool the whole time. We're all upset.
You're
and shook.
freaking out, and they're
Yeah.
actually keeping their cool. And
Yeah.
again, I want to thank the Oxford Fire Department for helping the Hughes family out. We're still dealing with some things at Mom and Dad's house, and I just wanted to say that. Okay, before we get out of here, because it was just Easter, you know, you probably got leftover. Now, what is your favorite Easter candy? Okay, my mom loves the thing I don't like, Peeps.
Ah, that's my sons both like them.
My mom loves Peeps. Okay, you can get her many Peeps. What about you? What's your candy?
My favorite is the Reese's eggs.
Ditto.
What's the other eggs that the
I know what you're talking. Cadbury.
Cadbury eggs? Those are good.
Not
too.
that we're giving
But
commercials
I like
out.
the Reese's. I know.
You'll have to send us money now.
My favorite meal, I make lamb every year.
Lamb,
Yeah,
wow. Can you say so?
It's yummy.
Can you bring some in
Still
next
have
week?
some left, but that's my lunch for the next week and a half.
Never had lamb before.
Oh, I'll bring you some. It's really good.
We have ham and all that stuff. So
I make grape leaves and lamb and all the good stuff.
my sister's in from West Virginia. She brought the cavalcade of dogs, so that's awesome. It's always good to have another dogger there.
Doesn't she have like 5 or something like that?
There's 5. Yeah, that's all good. Anyways, we hope you had a great Easter. We're a sign of spring. Hopefully we have some good weather ahead of us. And again, wish you a very happy spring and going into summer. And again, as always, we are happy to do what we do here for you. Yes. OCTV actually can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the ATTU Verse system. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku. And if you watch anywhere like in those places, feel free to donate. If you have a show idea or would like to volunteer, I'm sure Terry would love to hear from you. OCTV, call our office at 248-628-9658. Special thank you to our producer and director, the guy that knows it all, everything behind the broadcast stage, station manager herself, oh yes, Terry Stiles. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm the mouth, Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. We invite you back next time when we both will take a look at Oxford News this week. Have a good week, everyone.